Hey guys, I'm back and I'm here to talk about my prom stories. I'm shocked that you guys even wanted to hear them, but I'm here to tell you about it. But before I get into that, I just want to say that I had a wonderful day. It was awesome. Like, awesome. Alright, you guys also wanted to hear about the boyfriend story and everything like that, which I'm gonna get into, but that has to be a totally separate video. Because that to me is the most important one. You guys we'll get into it. But anyway, as far as today goes, I don't know. Like, I met some really cool people, and it was really random for me because I'm not really like that where I could meet people and then just vibe with them and whatnot. But I was at work and came across a couple of guys, and I ended up hanging out with them after I got off of work, and it was awesome. It was wonderful. One of the guys, I kind of like, I don't know, we really clicked. And the weird part is, for me at least, I'm sorry if anybody gets offended, is that person is a different race, and I'm not used to connecting with people of the opposite race for some reason. But yeah, it was really cool, and I'm just like, maybe they're kind of fascinated that I'm black or whatever. But anyway, I had an awesome night. Words can't explain it. Awesome. Hopefully I'll come back and tell you guys if anything tops off with that. Just cool. I like to meet new people, and I had a good time. That's all I could say. We'll get into that later if anything, like I said, does happen. As far as my prom story, before I get into that, let me see if you guys can see any of my like old pictures. If you want to see what my parents look like. Oh, my mom and my daddy and me. I just realized that I think I was born a little bit silly because I looked at this picture and look at me. You guys can't really see, but look, at a young age, I was just silly. This picture I drew of myself like maybe 7 years ago. I drew that. This is me as a baby. I was born bald-headed. Cheeks are cute, huh? This is very old with my Barbie box. Sorry guys if you can't see my pictures too well. It's me and my puppy. Okay. Oh yeah. This is when I started growing up. Eyebrows was crazy thick. And this is me, baby. The bald-headed baby. Okay, guys. So my prom story. Oh, no. Before I get to that. Look at me and my baby. My sister. Crazy, huh? Crazy how she's so grown now. That's my baby. And this was me when I was a little thinner. Okay, enough. Prom. Alright. When I started high school, I started in a school called West Hill. Second high school, whatever. I went to the second high school, and basically I met this dude. He came straight from Haiti. He didn't really speak English too well, and he asked me to the prom like 3 years before prom, and I said okay, just cause, it wasn't cause I was feeling him or anything, but I was just like, all right, it's the first dude that asked me to prom. Sorry if the light is like extra bright in my face. I was like, all right, cool. A year goes by. I'm like down to go to prom with him. Another year goes by. Cool. Me and him start talking about the colors we're gonna wear, which was black and red. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, the week before prom, I get some type of allergic reaction or whatever, where my lip swell up and it was down here. Listen, like it was down here. Like my lip was touching my chin. And I went to the hospital. The hospital basically did not know what was wrong. They gave me a shot in my lip to try to like reduce the swelling. And my dad was like, maybe a roach went in my mouth because I didn't brush my teeth. I'm just like, whatever. Anyway, whatever that was, I ended up stressing out so much that I had like this dimple in my chin that just kept ticking like this. Just kept ticking. It was out of stress. So I was going to school and I would have to hold a tissue under my mouth because my mouth could not shut and drool would just be coming out. This was a week before prom. All right. So I'm freaking out, but I still wanted to go to prom. I was taking medications to reduce the swelling. Lo and behold, right before prom, my lip gets better. Cool. I go get my hair done. I remember I paid $70 to get my hair done, on top of buying the hair, which is another price. You know what I'm saying? That I think I bought 2 packs of, period point blank, I spent over like $200 on my hair for prom. Mind you, right before prom, I went to Jamaica Ave in New York. If you guys don't know what Jamaica Ave is, it's a place where you go shopping. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the light because I'm not feeling it. Okay, I went to Jamaica Ave with my friend Schneidine. Problem was, by the time we got to Jamaica Ave, I realized I had no money. I left my money in Connecticut. And basically, I had to ask people on the street for money and my friend Schneidine because I found the prom dress, but I didn't have the cash on me. So anyway, I was able to get whatever amount of money to get my prom dress. Got the prom dress. And I saw this dude, my prom date. You know, he saw my dress. Everything was cool. Day of prom, get my hair done. And as soon as I get out the hair salon, it starts raining. I run home. I get home, nobody's there. You know, people are used to seeing their mommy and daddy with them, like taking pictures or whatnot. I didn't have that. I was home alone. Hopped in the shower, got dressed. 8 o'clock came. My prom date didn't call me. 8:30 came, he calls me, he's like, oh, I'll be a little late, but I'm coming. 9 o'clock hit, he didn't show. But he would call me like every half an hour to say that he was on his way, but he just never showed. And I'll get to the weird part in a second. But basically every half an hour I got a call from him, and it was just, you know, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, that limo driver, you know, I can't believe that, you know, he's doing this. He's so unprofessional. He should have been picked us up, whatever. Anyway, so my father comes home and he sees me and he starts laughing like, haha, your date never came to pick you up. I told you not to go to prom. Wasn't paying him no mind. He left the house. My cousin calls me. She tells me that her date needs a pair of shoes, and basically that was their dilemma. So my mother goes in the attic and she's digging through my father's old shoes from when he walked in weddings, and she found a pair of shoes for my cousin's date, Ty. My cousin comes to my house with her date. He had no shoes on his feet. He walked up to my house with his socks on. I give him a pair of shoes, and they end up staying. And they're like, well, can we ride with you in the limo? I say fine. But her parents came inside, and her parents tried to convince me and her to not go to prom. the mom was like, come on, Diane, let's just go to the movies. You and Farah look so beautiful in your dresses. We'll just go to the movies in your dresses. And I'm kind of like, really? Anyway, Farah's like, no, like cursing out her parents, and her parents are like trying to beat her in front of me and my mom and whatnot. And basically my dad comes home and he feels bad for me, so he's like, I'll bring you to prom. My dad was driving a fly car back then, which I'll show you. Back then the car was nice, like whatever, I'll show you in a second. And I was kind of like, all right, like I'll take the ride. So my date calls me and I'm like, all right, well, we'll come pick you up. What's your address? He tells me the address. I hang up the phone. And we're driving. Me, my cousin, and her date are driving over to go pick him up. And I look in the mirror, the side, whatever you call it, not rear view, whatever, as my father's driving, and I see my cousin Farah's parents following us. Like, whatever direction we went, they were following us. Let me try to speed this up because we're already at 11 minutes. So they're following us, and I'm just like, okay. My father is lost. He's going around in circles. And I'm like, what is he doing? Father was like, call your date. I'm trying to call my date on my dad's cell phone. The phone number, incomplete. Like, it's non-existent. So my father starts laughing. He's like, oh, your date lied to you. There's no such address. He's like, I've been living here all this time, and I've never heard of this address. So basically, my date played me. Gave me the wrong address, gave me the wrong number. And so I had called the school, not the school, the hotel where the prom was at, because they were like, after 10 o'clock you can't get in. And I realized that it was like past 10 o'clock. And I had called and I explained what was going on. They were like, you could still come. So I go. We get out the car, and Farah's parents are behind us, and they get out the car and they follow us into prom. I'm totally embarrassed, but really more embarrassed for my cousin because that's her parents. My father already pulled off and left me. So we get to the door, they're asking our names. And when I give my name, they're like, you're not on the list. And I'm like, what? Like, huh? They're like, you're not on the list. So they're like, what's your date's name? And I'm like, oh, shoot. I used to just, I knew him by his nickname. It was Tijela, which means little. In Creole, T means little. So his name is Tijela, Little Gerard, whatever. But I couldn't say that to the principal because it's not his name. So I'm trying to figure it out, whatever. And then they look and they're like, nope, sorry. Everybody's already checked in. There's nobody else. So I start crying, bawling out, and principal feels so bad for me. He's like, just come in. And basically they offered me free pictures. The pictures were $70 a pop, and they offered it to me for free, but I was crying so bad, my eyes were swole. I didn't want the pictures. I get into the prom, all my enemies from high school are hugging me and just feeling all bad for me and stuff like that, which was really bad. If your enemies feel bad for you, then that's really bad. So anyway, prom goes on, everybody's having a good time, people are laughing, dancing, and I'm in the hallway crying all night and stuff. Oh, matter of fact, I don't even have pictures. I think somebody took a picture of me with my eyes all watery or whatnot, but I don't know where that picture is. So anyway, what happened was, here's the really bad part. Okay, prom is over. I'm sitting in the hallway on the heater, and all of a sudden I see my cousin and her date Ty that came with me leaving, and I'm just like, yo, where you going? So they were like, oh, we're about to leave. And I'm like, well, you can't leave me, I came with you. And so they decided to go out the side way. We go out the side way. As God is my witness, Farrah's parents were standing right there at the side of the door. I'm not lying. Now, here. We're about to get to the kicker. So, Farrah's parents are like, let's go. And I'm just like embarrassed, like, thank God, those are not my parents. I don't have to go with them. She has to. Farrah goes, oh, I left my shoes inside. I gotta go get them. And I'm standing there like an idiot, right? Clearly, I'm looking at Farrah. She has her shoes in her hands. But I'm like so dumb at the moment that I was like, okay, I'll wait for her to go get her shoes. So I'm standing outside with her parents. Farrah goes back inside the hotel with her date. We're standing outside for a good 10 minutes. Farrah never comes back. Her parents are like, go look for Farrah. Go inside. Go get her. So I go inside, and I'm just looking everywhere. There's nobody left inside except for security for my school. And I was like, I forgot the security guard's name, but like, hey, have you seen Farrah? He was like, man, Farrah got in the car and she zoomed off like 10 minutes ago. Now I'm like shocked, like I'm shaking. I'm like, she left me? But I was the dumb one because she told her parents she left her shoes, yet the shoes were in her hands. That was clearly a way for her to escape. Damn, I'm at 17, almost 17 minutes. All right, let me hurry up. Okay, so I go back outside and I was like, oh, well, she left. And Farrah's parents took my hands, right and left, and walked me to the car, to their car. And people were like, oh shit, her parents came to pick her up, ha ha ha. People were laughing at me so bad that I couldn't even cry. I get into their car. They drive me home. I get home at like 12:04. And I was really depressed. I was so sad because everybody went to after prom and stuff. And I was at home at 12:04. And I was brought home by my cousin's parents that held my hands in front of everybody in the parking lot. I had like a glass that had like my prom year and everything. And they gave me like an album. And I just took the glass and I broke it. And I was just like really upset. My dad was laughing at me and stuff. Told me I shouldn't have never won. Now, the weird part is, prior to the prom, I had a dream. And in the dream, my date stood me up. And I remember I fell asleep and I woke up at 10 o'clock. And what happened was, that day, when I ended up going to prom, I left at 10 o'clock. And I remember looking at the clock when it turned 10. So it was just exactly like my dream. It was like deja vu. So basically, I got stood up at prom by a dude that just wasn't popular, and all of a sudden he just blossomed to be like really, really cool. Anyway, so went back to school, didn't see my cousin for about 2 weeks. She ran away from home after she did that whole prom thing. Didn't speak to her or nothing. And what happened was, I went to the principal. Actually, the principal went to me, like asking me like about my date. And he was like, I just want to inform you that your date did purchase a ticket, but 2 weeks prior to prom, he asked for his money back. And he just didn't inform you. So he just basically strung you along the whole time. And that really hurt me. My cousin that lives in Long Island was having her prom the week after mine. So she basically told one of these guys that she knew that didn't have a date that I was available. So I went to prom with her. Basically, I had to put up like we were getting an Escalade. Escalades just came out. Oh my God, let me hurry up. Oh my God, we're only like 20 minutes. Okay, let me get to this. This is prom number 2 catastrophe. Okay, we get an Escalade. We all had to come out our pockets for like $300, and it was like 22 people, whatever. It was crazy. So I wore the same exact dress that I wore to my prom, and I had my glasses. I had the $300 put into like my glasses case and whatnot. This was me and my cousin. Oh gosh, sorry. This was me and my cousin about ready to go to prom. I had even bought gray eye contacts. This was the Escalade. Okay. And this was me in front of my daddy's car. This was the car that he took me to prom the first time. And yes, I had like a red weave in my head. Okay. So anyway, what happened was we get in the Escalade, and there was this guy who I thought was really cute. He was like the leader of the pack, right? He was the one that got everything together for the thing, and he was collecting the money. So he decides he wanted to stop at somebody's house prior to prom because he wanted to show off the truck. We get there. He's like, everybody get out the car, show off your dresses. We get out the car. Listen, the minute we get out the car, I look and I see all these girls going into our limo that weren't with us. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? That limo ends up pulling off. My glasses are still in the freaking limo with my money and everything. Alright, so we're left with the other girls' limos, like the other people that were going to prom. They were in a limo that was black, and it said Brooklyn Limos on it in white. It was so freaking ghetto. We get in the limo, there's no air. So we had to put the windows down. Everybody's hair was getting jacked up because of the wind. We're pissed off. We're like, we had a 22-seater, and now we're in an 18-seater that we didn't pay for, like a Navigator. So we get to the prom, we're already plotting like, oh, we're gonna get this dude back. Like, how could he do this to us? He made us pay all this money, and then he's gonna like leave us with this Navigator. Cool. We get to the prom, things are cool. My prom date, he was really nice. His name was Max. He was like a really nerdy dude, like, you know, bifocals, really thick ones or whatnot. And his parents were like both doctors, and he didn't have a date, so this was our picture. It's really hard for you to see, but anyway, he was really cool. So what happened was we had dinner at the prom, and then like I came up with this plan, like, let's hurry up and leave early so we could get back into our limo. But these mother effers were thinking the same thing. The other girls decided that they were gonna go to the limo prior to prom ending. So by the time we get to the car, they're already there. And our limo driver is like, I can't remember who I picked up, so you guys need to stop, whatever. He was like, they're already in the car, they're coming with me. So they were going to after prom, which was in Manhattan at this some club. And we're trying to talk to the limo driver like, yo, you picked us up on Uniondale. Can't you remember? He just was like oblivious. So anyway, I was like trying to be obnoxious. So while the girls were in the limo, I decided, let's take a picture in front of the limo. So the girls were all in the limo. And then basically we just went in front of it, like trying to debo. And I was like, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to go back in the Navigator. We're going to go to the same after prom, and then we're going to try to get back into our car. Anyway, I had already got my my glasses case back out of the car with my $300, thank God. And we're back in the Navigator. We go to Manhattan to this club, and I'm having an awesome time. Like I didn't care about anything, but mind you, with the limo that we were in prior to, we had PlayStations, we had all that. Like, people had bought their own stuff. We got that all back. We had them in the Navigator. Now, the dude driving the Navigator, I don't know what happened with him. He must have got pissed off at one of us. And what happened was my cousin came running in, like, we gotta go right now. And I'm like, I'm having a good time. Why we gotta leave? Basically, the dude driving the Navigator got pissed off. The Navigator limo. He threw 2 PlayStations out, broke the PlayStations. He threw anything that belonged to us out, even our glasses that we were holding with the prom name on it and everything. Let me try to hurry up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he threw everything out and then he left. But guess what was in the car? My glasses and my $300. Yup. So we were stuck in Manhattan and we saw our limo and we're knocking, begging him to let us back. Like, you picked us up, bring us back to our house, please. He refused to take us because he was so used to the other girls that had popped in the car, so he didn't trust us. So anyway, long story short, we called a cab from Manhattan to get us back to Long Island. And we all sat like on top of each other and we didn't have any cash. So we had to ask somebody's mom to like meet us in front of the house to pay for the cab. And that was basically my prom, both of my proms, and it was horrible. I just thought that I should have never even attempted to go to prom, aside from everything just going crazy, my lip, me going to the hospital, me getting better and whatnot, and then me getting my dress after having to beg people on the street for like money, and my friend to like come up with I think my dress was like $160. And just, I went through all that trouble only to get stood up, and then for the second time only for the freaking limo to just drop us and me lose $300. And I never got it back, thanks to this a-hole. I'll never forget you for this one. And I thought he was cute, so anyway, story done. I'm so glad you guys even watched. If you watched, you asked for it, so I shared. Alright, sorry about my voice, kind of tired. I've been at work since like I did like a 10-hour shift today, and then I went straight out with these dudes, so like I didn't really get any sleep. So right now my throat is just like you know. Anyway, guys, I miss you and I'll see you later. Okay, peace. Damn, I need some water.